So, okay. I hope everybody's fine and waiting for the lesson. So, I'm not sure if we are recording. I will continue the recording. Okay. So yesterday we have learned what to do, where to do, and a few things about how to use Slack or how we can study this coding lesson and a few things like that. Today we will continue from the yesterday. Uh, we have touched the variables, and today we are going to get a value from the user. I mean, just like a bank ATM, when you are taking money from it, you should enter your password or name, things like that. And we are not going to build the ATM, but we are going to create a system that can save our name, our names. Okay. So let's review what we have learned yesterday. The first question was, why Java? Sometimes in interviews, if you plan to continue learning, being a tester, you should know why you choose Java. They may ask you in the interview, why you have choose Java? Why did you learn Java? There are a lot of different reasons, but most important ones are OP concept. Just like a Lego parts, you can build anything by building little parts. And by Java, by using this OP concept, you can do that. Java is very safe and secure. There's a great company named Oracle behind of it, so it has to be safe and secure. Even even thought it is so safe and secure and useful, still it is free. This is my favorite reason. Because of being free, we choose Java. Yes. Two, they may ask you, in that interview, they may also ask you what OP is. Just remember the Lego parts. You should answer it like this. We create small objects and we put them together. Then we create the project. That's why OOP is very useful. And of course, they will ask you what is object. It's very hard to explain from this perspective. There are a lot of limitations here, but I will say to create object, first you need to create a class, and there were two different places in the class. First, declaration, you should write the class name and a few properties about the class, then curly braces, starting point of that class and ending place, and between that curly braces or brackets, whatever you say, there is the body. The body means we will write our code in that body. Main method is the starting point of everything. It is fixed. You cannot change how to write it. It will be always same. But when you create a main method inside of a class, you will gain the run button there. It was green, little run button. It is filled with the color. I think you can remember from yesterday's lesson. To execute our code, we need this button. And when you create the main method, this button will appear there, and you will be able to execute your code. If there is no main method in the class, we cannot run or execute our code. The meaning is same. Running a code or executing code is same thing. Yes, data. Sometimes it's very easy. I know everybody know what data is, but still, sometimes we may not answer that question easily. Data is everything. Everything is data. And when you write a code, there will be an entering data and there should be an output. I mean, it will be also a data. Input and output. Data will enter inside of the code, and something will get out. It is very similar like this. Let's say we have a code and calculate the addition of the numbers. You put 4 and 3 to the code. 4 and 3 enters to the code or machine, whatever we say, and 7 comes out. These are input data, and this is the output data, and here it is the code. So data can be a picture, a music, a video, anything, any text, everything in the computer actually a data. And Java has a few data types actually, but basically we divide them to 2 parts. First one is primitive. This data type. This is a very simple data type. From the name, you can understand, I think. But we are going to use them a lot. And in real life, they are being used because they are simple and they take less place from the memory. It's very important. They are very fast because of that. Because of being simple, being simple makes them very fast. So when you create a program, being fast means a lot. Non-primitive, this type of data has a lot of different functions. These functions are created most of the time. They are created by Java developers, and we can use them as much as we want. We can also create our own non-primitive data, but we cannot create any primitive data. That's very important. I mean by important, they may ask me in the interview. Okay, after a good review, we can. I feel I'm ready. So let's continue. Yes. Now we have learned a few things about here too. So I know I told you that we have completed the review, but I think we will continue from here. Every time if you want to do something in Java, you should create a data and a place to store the exact data. For example, a number is a data, but first you need to create a box for it. If you are planning to store a number, data types should be integer or any number data type. But for now, let's say it's integer. This is the data type. And also, it means we will store a number is in this box. And it should have a name. Name can be anything, but most of the time we should use a name that we can understand after a month. If you cannot understand what it was for, what it is for, what it was for, it will be very confusing for everybody. So naming. After the data type, you should give a name to your number, and we will use myInt here. Equal to symbol, data type is integer. This box will store a number, a name, and the value. Assignment. And ending symbol. I think something has happened. I'm not sure what. Zoom reset itself. Let me share my screen. I don't know what was the last thing you heard. I will continue from here. Data type, as you can see, color is a little different. The name of your variable, you can put any name here, and the value. When you write this, you are saying that I will store number in this box. The name, from now on, when I call this name, you will check this box. This is the name of box. The value, there is this value in this box. When I call this name, you will say 10. When I say my int, you will say 10. Okay. Data type, variable name, assignment symbol, equality, value of the variable. Oh, this means that's all. You can leave now. The left side is the declaration, and the right side is the assignment. You know, normally we should have added an equality here, but you do not need to set a value inside of the box. If you want to create a box in the memory, an empty box, just you can write it like this. But don't forget, if the box is empty, if there's no value in it, you cannot use it because when you write like this, please, this was my int, but now I want to add 5 to it. Please calculate that. When you say it like this, if you haven't assigned any value to it, Java won't be able to calculate it because for Java, there's nothing in this box. It is not 0 or 1 or 500,000. Java doesn't know what it is. So it won't be able to calculate it. And we will see an angry Java. And it will show its anger by drawing a red line under it. When it's like this, it means there's a problem, Houston, and it won't work. But as long as you do not use it, you can create an empty box in the memory by writing the data type and the name. Of course, you should say this all, my friend. Okay. It will reserve a memory area in the memory. That's all. But there won't be anything inside of it. There will be nothing inside of it. Okay, after, let's say we have created the box. Then in the next line, you can assign the value. If you do it like this, there won't be any problem because in the box, now we have 30. We have created the box in the previous page and we have put 30 inside of it in this page. Everything is fine. Now we can use it in any calculation without any problem. Okay. This part is a little important for you to understand what's happening. So I will try to explain it by my perfect drawing. Let's say my bank account. I have 100 USD. I'm very poor, I know, in my bank account. So, and I have added 50 USD. I have added, let's say 50 USD. How do we calculate the final situation of my bank account? I should write 100 plus 50, right? I mean, my bank account plus 50. This is the old value, which is 100 USD, and I am adding 50 to it. It should be this calculation, the result of this calculation should be my new bank account value. My bank account. So it should be like this, please don't look at this assignment from a math teacher perspective. You shouldn't check it with math perspective because it won't be correct. Whenever you see this kind of assignment, first you need to check the right side of the assignment. This was 100 plus 50 comes from here, and the final result will be 120. And from now on, inside of my bank account, there should be 150 USD. It's very important. When you see an assignment, if there is a calculation at the right side, first, without looking the left side of the assignment, as assignment by this symbol, first you need to calculate the right side of the equality. Then you should make the assignment. It's very important. Always first calculate the right side, just like this example, then make the assignment. Another one, for example, my mark is 90, but I want to, and I got 50. After this is the first one, that's the first exam. This is the second exam, and the first result was 90, and the second one is 50. At the end, I should calculate my mark, average mark, of course. My mark will be 90 plus 50 divided by 2. And I believe it should be, okay, 70, right? But still, my mark is changing. My first mark was 90, my second was is 50. Still, as you can see, my mark, I am not changing anything, but I can calculate my mark. My mark was 90 here, then I got 80. When I divide it by 2, I can calculate my last mark. Let's do a little practice. That way it will be easier to understand, I think. But first I want to check. Yes, what it does. Okay, before coming to here, I want to show review what we have learned in yesterday's topic. I hope everybody could be able to create first project in their class, in their computers. So I will create day 02, and we will continue from here. Data types. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I should have created a package. I will delete it, and I will create a package. Okay. How did I do that? Right click on the SRC, new, and package. Right click SRC, new package. Day 02, data types. Now we have a package here. I will create a class now. Right click on the package we have created, new Java class. Okay. CO1 variables. And when you are planning to write some code, first you need to create the main method. And writing main is more than enough. And create a place for yourself to write your code. First, I will create an integer number. To create a variable, first thing I need to write the data type. I want to create an integer. We are going to learn what they mean. But first, integer means I will be storing a number in this box. Name can be my mark, anything. And I will give a number to it. It's a very high score, I know. Let's print it. So, if I write here my mark, it will directly print to 99, the value of it. But if I write, let's run it. Oh, wrong button. If you directly write the name of the box, it will print the value of it. Oh, man, what? And 99 is here. 99, as you can see. If I put it between double quotes, it won't check my mark because double quote means whatever I write between them, I want to do something with it. I want to print my mark. Instead of writing 99, this time it will print my mark here. It was 99. Now it will be my mark. It doesn't matter what you write there. If it is between double quotes, no matter what, it will print it. If you don't use double quotes, it means you are trying to do something with a box variable. I will delete this double quotes. Now I want to print, it means I want to print the value of my mark. Well, let's write. When we don't use double quotes, it means we want to print a value of the variable. If we want to print it, we should use double quotes. So my mark. When we let me make it bigger. When we use double quotes, it means we will print whatever is inside or between double quotes. This time, first it will print the 99 from here. Here it will print my mark. Okay. We can use this text, this double quotes, to write an example explaining before the exact value. For example, I want to print something, but before that, I want to write an explaining. Today, I got, as you can see, this part is the explaining. It will be printed exactly how I enter it here. And I want to add something else. This time, dynamically, I will add my mark. It is not between double quotes. It means first it will write, today I got space, this symbol, another space, and then plus the value of my mark. Here it is. If I change this value without changing anything, it will also affect here. Today I got 50. I haven't changed anything here, but because of this value, dynamically it has been changed by the computer. Let's, I think it's enough. If you want, we can solve another example here. Do you want me to solve another example about this topic? Yes. I saw a microphone movement there, Ramazan. But I cannot hear you if you are talking. Sorry. And my headphone is connected. Okay, sorry, I cannot hear you. I saw your microphone movement, but still I cannot hear your voice. I'm not going to solve, let's not solve another example about this. We are going to use them a lot. So if you couldn't be able to understand it here, don't worry, we will cover it. Let's go back to the slide. You know, I told you that in Java, we have a few different data types that we are going to use. Primitive data types, one by one, I will try to explain what they are. We are going to use all of them, but about non-primitives, we will only use string data type for now. In free classes, we will have only string data type, but if you continue, you will learn other data types too. But for now, that's more than enough. You know, Boolean, char, float, double, byte, short, integer, long, and string. These are the types we will be using during free course. Primitive means simple but fast. Non-primitive means they have pre-made methods created by Java developers most of the time, but they are not as fast as primitive. Of course, but using them has a lot of different advantages. But for now, let's continue. We have 8 different primitive data types in Java. And each data type takes a different amount of place from memory. The simplest one is the Boolean. It is a logical data result. It can be only true or false. I mean, it's like a question. It's like a yes/no question. The answer can be only true or false. Do you have children? True or false? Yes, no. My wife is pregnant. Oh, then you have it means you have a children. It will be true. Do you have money in a bank? True or false? Do you have ISTQB certificate? True or false? If the answer is if the answer can only be true or false, you should use Boolean data type there. It takes only 1 byte from memory, because if it is true, it will be 1. If it is false, it will be 0. You know, for computer, everything is 1 and 0. If it is true, it will be 1, and if it's false, the result will be 0. Boolean is very easy. We are going to create Boolean. Let's create before the next topic. Let's create a Boolean. CO2 Boolean. Just like the previous class, I will write the main method, and let's create a Boolean. Boolean is student. As you can see, this is a question. Is he or she a student? Sure. If the person is student, value should be true. Let's write here. We use Boolean if value can be only true or false. You know, these are very simple topics. I know that, but we are going to cover them, and we are preparing you for the harder questions. So, but we have to learn them before hard questions. Now let's print it. South is student. I will click on this green button. It will print true. because the result of student is thorough. The second one is character. And the name of it, char. Char can only contain one character. It's very important. You cannot write a word, you cannot store a word inside of the char. It can contain a letter, a number, or any special character. The main rule is it should be one character. Here, you can write anything like that. But until now, we have used double quotes, but here, when you setting a value for the char character, you should use single quote. And I will create another CO3 char. Main method. The data type is char, and I will write symbol. It can be anything as long as it is between single quotes. I will write another one, char symbol 2. It will be a symbol star, for example, and you can write a letter 2, char symbol 3. It will be a letter. Doesn't matter which one it is. Let's write the explaining. You can store a character in char data type. Of course, you will ask when are we use them? The time will come in the technical questions. We cannot store more than one character. Let's see, char symbol 4. I will add 2 numbers. It will complain as you can see. Java is very angry with us. When we want to see the reason, I will hover my mouse, and there's an explaining here. Too many characters in character literal. If I delete one of them, everything will be fine. If I use more than one letter, the result is same. Still, Java is angry with us. Okay. We cannot store more than one character in char data type. I think we got it. If you have any question, please, without any hesitation, ask me directly. It's very important because we are trying to teach you something. The most important thing is your understanding. Let's continue. Yes, it occupies 16 bits of the memory. You do not need to remember those things, but know that Boolean is the simplest one, and the char takes more space in the memory because it has a little more complex structure. And it will continue like this. Now we have number data types, whole numbers, byte, short, integer, and long. The main difference is between them the capacity. Byte can store numbers between -128 and 127. Short has a bigger capacity, -32,700. That goes on like this. I think you can understand from the names. The biggest capacity belongs to long data type. You can write really long numbers, but with these data types, you should recognize. I noticed this. You cannot use decimals. You cannot use a comma. This is not a comma. This is 33,000 blah blah. Okay, if you got it, let's open another class for them and write a few examples. CO4 number data types. Actually, I believe we do not need to create an example for all of them. We have already created the integer. For example, byte number. It can be between those numbers. I will write 100 here. Without any complaint, we could be able to do it. It is very similar with short and integer too. Just you need to write a number between the limits. You may wonder why it is the positive value is not 128, negative one is 128, but positive one is positive maximum limit is 127. Because in the positive numbers, between positive numbers, there is also zero. And zero is a number. It takes a place in the memory. Because of that, positive value is less than maximum value, minimum value, sorry, because of zero. Okay. Oh, yes. When we are creating a project, where we are planning to use a number, we should decide the data type. According to data type, it takes a little different place from the memory. But for our project, it's not very important. We are going to use a few numbers, maximum perhaps we will use 10 numbers. It doesn't matter which data type you use. But when you think about a Facebook, that billions maybe there, or a devlet or something like that, when you use that kind of, when you are creating that kind of application, using proper data type is very important. If you will take only day value, for example, 15th day of the month, you should use byte. You know, the lowest value is 1 and the highest value is 31. So byte is more than enough for that. For the month, minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is 12. A byte is, as you can see, enough for this one too. But when you are thinking about the year, you cannot use byte. For example, a user will enter 2000, but byte cannot store this number. If you are planning to use a year, short is enough. You do not need to use integer. It's very hard for year value, but you can use short. Okay. Still, in this course, we are going to we will use integer for all numbers. I am not going to use byte, short, long, as long as it's not necessary to use them. Using integer is enough for our course, but you should know the difference. Oh. Please, I will open Slack channel. I have forgotten to open it. Sorry for that. Oh, still, I think you haven't installed the Slack. There's no message on the Slack. Let me check the YouTube channel. Perhaps there is a question there. Oh, no. Okay. Let's continue. Ah, yes, there are a few examples here for the data types you may need to use for different situations. Float. If you are planning to use a decimal value, a number with decimals, you should use float or double. As you can see, after the comma, it can take a lot of values, and double is a long number after the comma. Number of decimals, a float can have 6 or 7 value for after the comma, and double is has bigger capacity. If you want to use them, you can use any of them. Most of the time, we will use double for decimal numbers. It's easier, but you should not forget that if you want to enter a float, after the value you have to write an F, just like this. For example, if you want to use a float, the type is float, and here after the value there is an F. It means it's a float. And the result, when you divide, when you use divide calculation, the result will be like this. When you use double, you do not need to mention anything. As you can see, just writing the value is enough. I told you that we store decimals inside of the double, but if you don't use any decimal, still it's a number like this, 20,0. It is still a number, so you can store whole numbers in double too. When you use double, it's very important. The last digit may be wrong. Normally it should have been 3, but somehow it became 5. I don't know why. Just remember that the last digit may be wrong. It does not affect the calculations. It is really very small amount, so it doesn't affect any calculation. Just keep that in mind. It's not very important, but sometimes it can save time knowing this information. I mean. Okay, before continuing, let me check something. Okay. There are 6 primitive data types. Let me show you one more time. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the primitive data types. You should not forget that we cannot create primitive data types. There will be always 8 primitive data types. But of course, we can create our own data type, but they will be non-primitive. There is no limitation for non-primitive data types. So Java developers have created a few non-primitive data types for us to use, but we can also create, if you need, a new data type. In non-primitive data types, Java developers created premade methods for us to use. That's the main difference between primitive and non-primitive data types. Yes. Don't worry about them. We are going to learn them in the future. So let's continue. As I told you before, string is a non-primitive data type, and we are going to use it a lot in this course. String means text. Everything can be text, like a novel, a book, or something you wrote. If it is between double quotes, whatever we write here, even though it's a number, it will be a text. If it is between double quotes, it means you should store it in a string box. You should put it in a string box. For example, here, the data type should be a string because we are planning to store a name and surname. Data type is string, and the name of the box is a variable is name, and the value is John Doe. After writing the name of the variable, when you press dot, you can see a lot of premade methods that you can use. Let's do it. Just remember that if you want to store a text, you should write it between double quotes, and data type should be string. And after the name of the variable, name here it is, when you press dot, Java will give you a lot of pre-made methods which are created by Java developers. You can use them whenever you want. Okay, action time. I don't know, I don't like explaining things theoretically. I always like practice. Okay, C05, non-primitive. Oh, pardon me. It should be like this. Main method. And let's create our first string variable, string name. This is the data type. This is the name of the variable, equals to Natalia. It should be between double quotes. If you do not write like this, Java will complain about it. Okay, as you can see, I have stored the name of Natalia. If you want to print it, south name, I can directly print the name. Okay, now let's use a pre-made method. Let's use a pre-made method. I told you that if it's a non-primitive, this is non-primitive, because string, from the part, it's a non-primitive. I will write the name of the variable, name, and press start. Here, I can see out of different methods. I hope you can see M here. It means these are methods. I want to make all the letters capital. I will use to uppercase. If I use this, it was like this. I have stored it like this. When I print it like this, it is exactly as I stored it. But when I use this, it will change all the letters. I will delete it for now. I will write it between salt command because I want to see it on the console. If you use salt, you can see it on the console. Name dot. I want to change all the letters to uppercases. Now let's see the result. We'll click this green button to run the class. As you can see, it changed the letters. It was like this. Now it is like this. I haven't changed any letter, but this method, this pre-made method, changed all the letters, as you can see. Let's write and explain it here. Primitive data types, have a pre-made method which are created by Java developers to use for us. To use. And to uppercase is one of them. One more thing, sometimes it is a little complicated. I want to explain it. We have only 1 minute before the break time. I will create an integer and I will write first account. In my first account, I will have 100 USD. Second account, I have 200 USD. And the third account, I have 500 USD. If I print third account, it will print only 500. Just I wanted to show that, and we will enter the break time. I have to see after 10 minutes. Until then, oh, what's that? This is not the one I'm looking for. Sorry. See you after 10 minutes. Hello, everybody. Now things will get a little complicated, but don't worry. From now on, it will be get at the same time funnier too. We will have fun, but before that, if you want to see differences between primitive and non-primitives, you can check this slide. I hope you could be able to log into your Slack accounts. I will share this slide and the codes from there. If you did not, please get in touch with your customer support or write from the website. Please use the Slack. We are going to communicate from there. Okay, let's continue. I'm not going to touch them. You can check them yourself. I want to start the next topic if I can. Oh, yes, before everything else, naming rules. When you're coding something, naming is very important. You should not forget that Java is a case-sensitive programming language. Here you can see three different words. The last one is not completed, but for us, for people, they are same, but for computer, each one is different because, as I told you, Java is a case sensitive. You should be very careful when you use a capital or when you use a lowercase. Yes, when you're writing and naming something, there's letters, numbers, and the symbols can be used in the variable names, but I prefer not using this symbol. Instead of space, you can use this symbol, but you cannot use any other special character or space. In coding, there is no space. You should not forget that. You can use numbers in the naming, but a variable name cannot start with a number. Don't forget, you can write number 1, but you cannot number 1. You cannot write first number, for example. You cannot write it like this. Java won't accept if you start with a number. You can start with the symbols, but it's not very recommended because it is out of the trend. In coding, in time you will learn there are a lot of unwritten rules. This is one of them. You cannot start a variable name with the symbols. Yes, the names or defined words cannot be used as a variable name. For example, we have learned this integer is a data type. You cannot create a variable by using same name. Java won't accept it. It should be integer 1, integer 2, new integer, whatever we write as a number, a name, Java will accept it, but as long as you do not use words defined in Java, you can use any name. Okay, let me clean everything. Yes, variable names should start with a lowercase. Let's write first number. First number. We cannot use space between the words, So when you start a new word, the first letter should be capital to understand. Otherwise, it will be very hard to read. This is called a camel case. Just like a camel, you know, this is the head of the camel, and these are the organs. I think you know what they are. And humans are sitting here normally. But because of this structure, it's called camel case. First, you should start with a lowercase. Other than that, every word should start with a capital, like this example. Most of the time, we will use this naming rule. If you don't follow this rule, without any problem, Java will accept it. This is one of the unwritten rules. Always coders write their names like this. First letter should be capital, I'm sorry, lowercase. The other than first word, all the words should start with a capital letter. Okay. One more thing, we should understand how Java works, and I will try to explain the memory usage. When you create the main method, you know, it's a fixed type. You have to write it like this. Java will create a block in the call stack, and it will be like this. Don't worry about this call stack, just focus on stack memory and heap memory. The other name is small memory, and this is the huge memory. They are not called like this. It is stack and heap, but to be able to remember what's what, which is what, you can use the first letters. Stack memory is the small one, heap memory is the huge one. When you create the main method, Java creates a place in the memory, but first it will be in the stack memory. A small place, but it works very fast. It's very fast. One more thing, primitive data type is stored in stack memory with the name and value. But non-primitives are a little different. Non-primitive data types, name will be in the heap memory, but the value will be in the, name will be inside of the stack memory, and the value will be in the heap memory. Because, you know, for the non-primitives, there is no limit for data. You can create a variable for a novel, for a book. Harry Potter, for example, you will write string, and the name will be Harry, and it will have all the book. It can store it. The reason is actually the stack memory is very small, and it cannot store all the book. So name will be inside of the stack memory, but the value will be stored in the huge, heap memory. But there will be a reference, an arrow showing the value of the variable. Don't worry for now. Let me explain it one more time. Here, if you remember, integer was a primitive data type. Very simple. Value and name will be saved in the stack memory. If it is primitive, value and name and value will be inside of the stack memory. But this one does not have any value. It is only the name, the created box. It will be, as you can see, it will be in the stack memory. Another integer data, and the name of the second data is b, and it has also a value. It means this is still in primitive data type. We can understand from the data type here. And you know that for the primitives, name and the value will be stored in the stack memory. And it took its place here. Char. Char is also a primitive data type with its value it should be stored in the stack memory. String. Now things will change a little because this is a non-primitive data type. String is a non-primitive data type. The name will be inside of stack memory, but the value will be in the heap memory. This one does not have any value, as you can see. This is only the name, so the name will be in the stack memory. str1. For this one, it has a name and value, and it's a non-primitive data type. If it is a non-primitive, again, name should be in the stack memory, value should be in the heap memory. str2, the name is in the stack memory, and the value, which is Java is good, is in heap memory, as you can see. And here, at first, str1 did not have a value. Now it has. We had stored its name in the stack memory. Now we are assigning a value to it, and it will be like this. The name is still in the stack memory, and the value is in the heap memory. How can I memorize which is what? As you can see, primitive data types, first letter is always a lowercase. But if it is non-primitive, first case should be will be a capital. These are primitive data types. First letters are lower cases, and this is non-primitive. I can understand from the first letter. It is a capital. Please, if you have any question, any, sometimes hearing voices is very good and it makes me happy, even though it's a question. Hearing your voices will be very nice for me. So if you have any question, any suggestion, or anything, an idea, any thought, just share it with me. You can write it on Zoom, or if you have Slack, it will be better. You can write there, or you can just use your microphones too, if it is okay for you. But please be active in the class. We are not very crowded here, so it won't cause any problem for anybody. At least I think so. So if you have a question, please, without any hesitation, ask it. Okay, now this is the place where I want to be. Scanner. It is I can say it's the first step for the coding. This scanner, I think, will make it funnier. We are going to take values from user. From the name, I think you can understand. The scanner is used to take a data from a picture or paper. You can store it. You can save it. You can save it to your computer, and you can do whatever you want with it in your computer. And we are going to use a scanner to get a data from user. But to use a scanner, first we need to create a scanner. As I told you before, in Java, if you want to use something, you should make an object, a Lego part, and you can use that Lego part as many times as you want. But first, we need a Lego part. It means we need to create an object, which will be a scanner. To create a scanner, this is the name of the object we are creating. Of course, Java developers has created a scanner for us. This is a class which is developed by Java creators. We just need to create an object from it to use. This is the class. I want to create an object named scan from the scanner class. Don't worry about the right part. You are going to understand what they mean in time. But when you want to create a scanner object, you should write it like this. The name of the class, scanner, the name of the object, you can put any name here, but you should use scan, equal symbol, new scanner system.in. That's the way of creating a scanner. When you use the scanner, of course, you should tell user to enter something. If he or she, if the user does not know that you expect a value from him or her, user won't enter anything. Before asking for a value, we should write an explaining for the user. We should warn user, hey user, I want your age here. Please enter your age, or please enter your name. And then by using the scanner, we will receive the user's name or age. For example, like this, please enter a whole number. Third step, if you want to get a string, I mean a name, something like that, you can use the object's name that we have created in the previous slide. We have created a scan object now, as you can see. And after that, and pressing that, you can use pre-made methods, which are created by Java developers. Next means here, user should enter a name or text, whatever it is. If you are, you can store it as a name or as something else. It's totally up to us. If you want to receive a number, instead of the next, you should use next int. It means scanner will take the number user enters. It can be age or birthday, birth date, things like that. We are going to learn how to do them in a few seconds. Okay, let's do that. Let's make it funnier. I will write a question here instead of explaining it as a boring subject topic. I will create a scanner class and I will write a question here. But before everything else, you should create the main method. And here the question is, take username and make it or print it with capitals. Okay, so you should leave space there. Okay, we are going to take username from the user and print it with the capitals. Everything is fine. If you remember, if we are planning to take a data from user, first, first, we need to create a scanner object. If a scan object. How do we create? It's very easy. You do not need to memorize it, of course. We are going to use it a lot of times. It means you are going to learn it in time. I want to create an object from this class. The name will be scan and leave scanner inside of the normal brackets system.in. If it is red, let me show you. If it is red like this, just bring your mouse over it, wait for a few seconds without clicking any button, and import it. If it is red like this, move your mouse over it, wait for a few seconds without clicking anything, and click this import class, and everything will be all right. Yes. Now it's ready. Next, we should inform user, hey, I will get your name. Next, we should inform user, because otherwise user won't know what to enter. Yes, perhaps user can understand, oh, computer is waiting for something, but I don't know what. So we should write and explain it here. Let's ask user's name, because we are planning to take its name and we will print it as capital. To write something on the console, we use sort command. To write something, you should use double quotes. Please enter your name. Now, this part is important. Somehow, by using this object, the object we have created, we should take username. Now we should take value from user. By value, I mean the name. And store it, save it, whatever you say. I told you that we are going to use this scan object we have created by using scan object that we have created. Let me write it quickly. Okay. To take a value from user, you should use the object scan. And to use premake methods, I should press dot. And now I have a lot of premake methods. They, of course, all of them has different functionalities and functions, but I am planning to take a name. If you want to take a name, you can use next. To take a name or a string or a text, you can use this next. This code will take whatever user enters there. Let's say user will enter his or her name. I should store it somewhere. I should create a box for it. I will create a box. I will stick a name on it, and after that I can use it whenever I want. To store a name or a string, we should use string data type. String and any name, user's name, and a code symbol. This code will get the name. Mehmet, for example. And this code will get Mehmet from the user, and this equal symbol will save it to this box. This is box, username, the name, and Mehmet will enter inside of it. And after that, inside of this box, whenever I call username, Mehmet will come. I will say username, computer will say Mehmet. Let's print it for now. Sort username. Whatever I enter at line 20, it will be printed here. Let's write and explain it here. Sort. The name entered by user is, it will print it and it will print username. I will run the class here. As you can see, it says, please enter your name. Okay, with pleasure. And the name entered by user is Mehmet. If I have entered another name, for example, system will write that name. So if you were creating a Facebook and if you wanted to store the name of user, You should create a string like this, and you can store whatever user enters there, like this. But what was the purpose of this code? We was planning to change the letters. Now let's change it. I want to print it, the result. Username dot uppercase. Now whatever user enters, it will be changed to uppercases. Because of this code I have entered here. The object's name dot the method I want to use. Write one more time. And I will enter. As you can see, normally it's like this, but because of this code, it became capitals. So, do you have any question for me? No? None? No, please ask a few questions. That way I don't feel lonely here. Okay. No question, no fun. Okay, let's create another question. CO7. Oh. Yeah, I will change the question, although take two numbers from user and calculate sum of these numbers and print it. That's very easy. We have taken the name from the user, but now I should take the number. If I'm going to take number, it means I cannot use string data type. You know, this is only for texts like this. If you are planning to store a number, the data type should be different. Integer perhaps, or byte, short, long, float, double. There were a lot of different number data types, but integer is enough. For now, to make it simple, we will use integer data type. But let's remember, we want to take a data from user. Then first, we need to create a scanner object. Create a scanner object. If you are planning to take a data from user, first you need to create a scanner object. I'll do that. Scanner, scan, new scanner, blah, 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 system.in. Okay, I have created my scanner object. The next thing, we have to write an explaining for the user. User should know that I am expecting something from him, a number, a name, anything, but I should tell him. To write and explaining for the user. So please enter first name. First, I want to take the first number. First, I will take the first number, then I will take the second number with another explaining. To take the number, do you remember how can I take it? Can you write it? Can you say it? You can remember. Still, I cannot hear any voice. Okay. I will do it myself. Okay. I'm alone here. I'm planning to take a number, so I should create a proper box for the numbers. Data type should be integer, right? Because I am planning to receive a number. And the name can be anything. I will write first number. it will be equal to something. But it is not fixed, right? It will be taken from user. If you want to take something from user, you should use scan object. Scan dot next int. I am planning to take a number from user, so it should be next int like this. Let's ask for the second number. So please enter second number. And let's take the second number from user and store it somewhere else. I will create another box for the second number. Second number. Just like the previous one, I will use scan.nextInt. Whatever user enters here, it will be stored in this second number data. So I need to calculate the result. I do not need to create another integer for this, but to make it simple, I will create a result integer to calculate the sum of these numbers. Integer result. I have taken two numbers from user. This is the first number. And let's say it has 13. This is the second number. And let's say user entered 33 here. To calculate the result, somehow I should use these names, right? First name, first number, plus second number will be the result. And it will equal to result. I will do the same thing here. The result is equal to first number plus second number. That's all I want to say. It will calculate the result. Let's print the result. Start result. But again, I want to write an explaining before it. Sum of entered numbers, it will be like this. Now I can write the class without any doubt, without anything else. It will calculate and give me the result. It is asking to user to enter first number. First number will be 13. It is asking for the second one. Okay, it will be 2. And the sum of entered numbers is 15. And it's working without any problem, as you can see. Any questions for me? Let me answer my question. No. Do you have any question? Please ask if you have. Don't you have any? So let's change it a little. I will add another functionality to my class. Calculate product of two numbers. We will multiply them by each other. Of course, user will enter two numbers. I have calculated the sum of the entered numbers, but I haven't calculated the multiplication. I will create another integer. Name will be product of the numbers. I will use it like this: first number times second number. This is the result of multiplication. Now let's print it. So row of entered numbers and plus product. I will write. The naming is not important. I just used a simple name. Whatever you enter, it will work. Naming, as I told you, naming is not important. It says, please enter. The first number will be 5. The second number will be 8. And sum of them is 13. If I multiply them, the result will be 40. That was a great modification, as you can see, without any effort. I could be able to calculate different results. So let's continue. Let's try to calculate something else. But before that, I want to check something. Here. Okay, let me check the slide first, and we will continue from there. Oh, we have questions here. That's good. It says take a double and an integer number from user and print their sum and product. We did very simple, but we have used 2 integers, so don't worry about it. It's very similar. The solution for this one is same. Only for one, instead of double, you should use an integer. Instead of integer, you should use double. Okay, let's try to solve question 3. I will copy the question from the slide. A second, please. I'm trying to copy it. Okay. CO8 scanner. Oh, sorry, wrong question. Okay, this is the question. We are going to ask for a name, surname, age from the user, and we will print them in the format below. Okay. User will enter John and surname and age. We will print it like this, and at the end, a successful, we will print this message too. It's not very hard. We are going to follow same rules. First thing first, we need to create a main method. As you know, everything starts from here. We are planning to take data from user. It means we have to follow 3 rules. The first one was creating a scanner object, create scanner object. Second, explain the situation to user, and explaining third, take the data from user and store it. These are the steps if you want to take a data from user. First one, let's create the scanner object here. To create scanner object, scanner scan new scanner system.in. That's all we need to do. I have created scanner object. I need to and explain it. It says we are going to get name, surname, and age. Let's write and explain it to the console. So, please enter your name. User will enter his name here. We should save it somewhere. You know, we are planning to save a name. If it is a name, it means it's a text. We should use string data type. String name will be equal to which is taken from user. So we are planning to take the name here. I need to use scan object. Scan dot which one? I am planning to take a text from user. If it is my goal, I should use next. I am planning to take a text, a name. It should be next. It will take the name and save it to the name. Then let me write and explain. Taking the name, and I will take the surname. Taking surname. Again, first I need to write and explain. So, please enter your surname, and I should store it somewhere. It's a surname. It's a text. String surname, and I will take it from user scan dot next. Still it's a text, so I will use same thing. The next step is taking the age. Now I should take the age. Taking the age. Let's write the explaining first. So please enter your age. The thing is a little different here. I am planning to take a number. So data type should be different than a string. If it is a number that I'm planning to take, store, data type should be a number data type. Integer is enough for me for now. Integer age, the name of the data will be age. I will take it from user. It means I should use scan object dot. I am planning to take an integer. So instead of next, I should use next int. It will store what our user enters. Okay, I have taken all the data from user and I have stored them in my computer. This part is cosmetic. We will give a report. It will be like this. Let me copy it here to be able to see it. I will write it exactly like this. We have all the data. What we have? We have name, surname, and age. And if user enters here Ahmed, name will store Ahmed, surname will be Brown. From now on, when I say surname, it will be Brown. Age will be 53. Whenever I call age, computer will give me 53. Let's create a system to print all these values like this. So I am planning to print something on the console. It means I should use sort com. First, I should write your name. Your name. Plus, whatever user enters here should be printed here. It is not fixed. It should dynamically take it from the name data. Name. The next line, so we will print the surname. Your last name. It should be taken from this box. Surname and age. So your age plus the age, dynamic age. And at that, I will print this one. So again, and the message. No problem there. It should work without any problem. I think that's all we need to do for this one. Let me run it. I will go wherever I have created main method and it will work. Hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, it will work. It says, please enter your name. I will write Ahmed. It says surname, Brown. Age, this time I want to make it 53. As you can see, just like they asked me to do, I could be able to print the values exactly like it's asked. Question time. Do you have any question for me? Of course not. Okay, let's have our break time and we will continue. Thank you very much. I hope to see you after 10. Hello again. I hope you could be able to understand what we have done here. I'm sorry, I could be able to explain what we have done here. And let's continue with another question. Let me check the questions. Oh, question 4. Let's create a program and it will take the length of two sides of a rectangular. We will take it from user and we will print the area. Okay. Let me copy the question from the slide. And we will try to solve it. Another Java class, C09 scanner. I will create main method at first and print the question. So let's create a logic in our mind. We are going to take two sides. It means we will take two numbers from user and we will calculate the result. Then we will print it. It's a very easy question. We are planning to take data from user. It means scanner object. We will create scanner object. Second, we will write an explaining. Third, we will store the entered data. Store. That's easy. First, let's create the scanner object. Scanner, scan, new scanner. Oh no, that's not the one. System.in. Okay, I have created the scanner object, and then let's write an explaining for the user. Otherwise, user won't be able to understand what we are expecting from him. So please enter first size. First, length of the first side. User will enter a number, right? If it's a number, I should create a proper box for it, a number box. Integer I will use. First side. It will be taken from user. That means here I need to use scan object. I will use next int because user will enter an integer. But here, actually, I think instead of integer, we may use a double. Perhaps user want to enter the value with decimals. So, integer can only store whole numbers. If you want to use a number with decimal, you should use double or float. When I press dot, if you are planning to store a double, you should use next double. After the scan, we press dot from the opened pre-made methods, you should use next double because we are planning to take double from user. Again, for the second side, I should write another explaining. Please enter size of the second side. I will write like this, second side. And I will create another double box, double data type box, second side. Again, I will use scan because I will take it from user, dot next double. Now I have taken all the data I need from user. The rest is very easy. I just need to calculate the result. And when you multiply a double number with another double number, of course, the result will also double. So when I try to calculate the result, data type should be double. result. It's equal to multiple of first side and the second side, because we are planning to calculate the area of the rectangular area. So we will print it, right? This is the result. So area of the rake is, this is the explaining plus dynamic that I want to print result here. It took only 3 minutes, I think, to write the solution. Let's run it. It says, please enter the first size. Please enter the second size. It will be 2.5. As you can see, the result is this. It is the area of the rectangular. Do you have any question for this question? No question? Let me check slide. Slack, sorry. No. Zoom channel? No, nothing. Okay. Yes. Another question. Let's solve another one. Take the name, surname. This is Eldil. What about this one? Take the radius of the circle from user and print the perimeter of and the area. What about this one? The last one is another good question. It is actually an interview question. And I am not going to solve it. It should be a surprise for you. We have solved this one. It's easy with it. Okay. Let's solve this one. Let's solve the question 6. I will copy it from the slide. If you like math, this question is a very good question. The way of solving it is same. Only need to know the formulas of the cycle. C10 here. Main. Let's write first. I want to write the formulas. To calculate the perimeter of the cycle is Q E R. I think, if I remember correct, I'm not sure. It has been a really long time where I calculate the area of or perimeter of the circle. This is the P times R power 2, I think. PR. Let's ask Google to be sure. Area of yes, it's correct. Perimeter. Yes, I'm a genius. I could be able to remember both of them. Perfect. That's easy. We know the p-value, and we should take our value from user. That's all. We are planning to take a value from user. This means we should we should write 3 lines. First, scanner object. Second, explaining. Third, take data and store it. These are the steps if you want to take a data from user. Scanner, scan, new, oh. Scanner system.in. I could be able to create it. It took time, but I did. Then explaining. Thought. Please, of course, it should be text. Please enter radius of the cycle. We are expecting to receive a number. It can be a decimal number, so I will create a decimal number box. Data type should be double here. You can use float too, but I prefer using double. Produce, it will be taken from user. I have created the box. Now I should take it from user. If you want to take it from users, you should write scan dot. Not next byte. I want to receive a double from user, so I will use next double here. It will take it from user and store it in this created box. Actually, I did the third step here. Okay, now I have all required data. I just need to calculate the values, perimeter and the area of the circle. Let's calculate the perimeter. Double, radius is decimal numbers, so the result will be a double. Sorry. Perimeter, it is equal to 2 times, I'm just applying the formula. P is, 3.14 times R, which we have taken by this name, radius. And then without writing anything, let's calculate the area too. Of course, you wonder how I will calculate power 2. It's very easy. Double area is equals to P. Now it is 3.14 times radius times radius. It means I will multiply it by itself. And let's print them. South perimeter of the circle is plus perimeter. This is the first one. The second one will also be very easy. Perimeter, area of the is plus area. That's all I need to do. Automatically, the system will calculate, but we may see long numbers after the decimal, after the comma. It's asking for the radius. It is 6. And as you can see, it has calculated the result. This first one doesn't have a long number, but the second one has a lot of number after the decimal, after the comma. But I believe those numbers are correct. Okay, we could be able to calculate another one. Let me check. No, this is another question. So let's try to solve this one. Question 7. Actually, it's an interview question. It is asked in an interview, but nowadays nobody asks code questions in interviews because it takes a lot of time, and employer will interview a lot of people, and always they want to make it shorter than it is. So they do not ask this kind of questions. Still, they might be surprised there. They may ask you, but it has a good logic if you can understand it. If you can't think of that logic, solving is very easy. Let's try to understand the question. Take two numbers from user and change them. You will swap the values. For example, first number is 10 and the second number is 35. We will change their places. Second number was 35. We will make first number 35 and the second number will be 10. We are just going to change the numbers places. In logic, it's very easy, but in coding, it's also very easy. And I will try to explain how to do it. But before everything else, I will try to explain it with something else. Let's say we have two buckets. The first one has water inside of it. Water. And the second one has sand in it. How can I swap them? Do you have an idea? I want to put sand to this bucket and water should be in this bucket. I just want to swap their places. How can I do that? In real life, not in coding. Okay, first, let me check if somebody is writing anything. And I will also check the Slack. Nothing. Okay. To swap water and sand, we need another empty bucket. It has nothing inside of it. First, I will pour water to empty bucket. So when I do that, water bucket will be empty. I haven't changed anything from the sand bucket right now. It has sand. And the last bucket has water in it. Because I have poured all the water from the first one. Water. Next, I will pour all the sand to the first one. Right now, first one has sand in it. Sand. The second one is empty. And still, the third one has water in it. Just I need to pour water to second bucket. As you can see, when I pour water to here, this one will have water inside of it. So right now, our first bucket has sand in it, and the second bucket has water in it. I have swapped their places. How did I do that? I just used another empty bucket. And in coding, I will follow same steps. I will create an empty box for the numbers, and I will put water to that empty bucket. first number to there. I will change the second number to first one. Then I will take this first number to here. If you could be able to understand this bucket example, I will do the same thing with coding. Okay, let's write it. I will write C11 scanner interview. I will copy the question from where it is. I can first main method, then the question. Now we should try to swap numbers user entered. Again, we are trying to take data from user. I'm not going to write steps, but first we should create the scanner object. Scanner, scan, new scanner system.in. Second, I need to write an explaining for the user to explain what he or she should enter. Please enter first number. Then user will enter the number. I should save it somewhere. User will enter an integer, let's say, whole number. I can use integer first. Number will be named, and I'm planning to take it from user. If you are taking a data from user, it means you should use scan. Dot. I will use next int because I am planning to store integer user entered. I will do same thing for the second number. First, and explaining, please enter second number. And let's store integer second number second dot next int. I have all the data I need. After that, I should use my logic. First, to make the swap, I need to create an empty bucket. Integer, empty number. An empty place to save it. It can be anything, but first I will equal to 0. It's an empty bucket. Let's start let's follow the order. This is first number, second number, and empty bucket, empty number. First, I need to store first number to empty one. Empty number is equal to first number. Whatever user enters here, if it is, for example, 13, it will be taken to the empty number. From now on, empty number will be 13. I'm just making things up. User can enter anything. If user entered 13, empty number will be 13. Second step, let's pour all the sand to the first bucket. First bucket will take everything from the second one. First number will be equal to second number. Whatever value second number has, if it is 20, for example, it will be taken to the first number. First bucket will be 20. In the first bucket, we have 20 right now, but second bucket hasn't changed. So to change it, I should pour whatever inside of the empty bucket, third bucket, to second one. Second number will be equal to empty number. There was 13 in empty number, sorry. and it will be saved in the second number. 13, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, 13. As you can see, I could be able to swap them. There was 13 in the first one. Now it is at the second one. There was 20 in the second one. Now it is in the first one. Let's print them. So first number was first number. So second number was second number. Let's try. If you have any question, please ask. That will make me happy, really. First number, I will write 13 for the first number. Second number, I will write 20. And as you can see, even though I entered second number 20, the first number became 20 and the second number is right now 13. Their places has been swapped by my code without any problem. I could be able to complete the task. So, do you have any question for me? None? I'm surprised. I think I'm getting used to this silence. Okay, let's solve another one. It says, take name, surname, and age of the user and print them in the format below. Information entered. To do that, we will learn another method. Oh, we can do it. Let's do it. It is not very complex. I will copy the question from here and share it here. Another class C11 scanner. Oh, I'm sorry, it was 12. If you want to change the number of name of the class, just right click on it and choose refactor from here and choose your name. It's a little hard to rename something, so refactor your name and change it as you wish. I was trying to write 12, so it will become 12. Okay, main method and the question. So first, let's try to understand the question. We will take name, surname, and age from user. Then I should print it like this. If let's say user entered John here, but we will only print the first letter of the name. Surname will be like this, full surname. After that, there should be a comma, space, and age. It's not very hard, but there's one method, I think, that we haven't learned until now, but it's a good way to learn. We are planning to take 3 values from user. It means we need a scanner object. Scanner, scan, new scanner system. .in. We need to write and explain it here. First, I want to take the name. South, please enter your name. We are trying to store a name. You know, if it is a text, we should use string data type. String name. You can write anything of user. I just changed the name of the variable. Otherwise, I think it makes it hard to understand. You can write anything here as a name. But here, after the equal symbol, I will use scan object that I have created here because I am planning to take a data from user. scan dot next. I'm going to take a text from user. One more thing here. This code will only take one word from user. If you want to take more than one word from user, instead of next, you should use next line. And I will use this one. Well, let's write and explain here. If we want to take more than one word from user, we should use next line instead of next. Okay, we have the name of the user, and now let's take the surname. It's another text. I should use string surname of user. As you can see, this is camel case. First, I start the lowercase, then every word should start with a capital. This is the way of naming. It will be equal to, again, I will take it from user scan.next. But I have forgotten to write and explaining, right? User won't be able to understand what is asked here. So let's write an explaining. Please enter your surname. Voila. The last data is the age. I should take age from user. So explain, please enter your age. Okay. You know, user will enter an age and number. So I shouldn't use string for this one. Data type should be a number data type. I will use integer. Integer, age of user is scan. This time, instead of next, I should use something else. I'm planning to take integer from user, so I should use next int. Voila. I have all the data I need from user. I will change something. I just need first character of the first name, right? So I can add something here to only take first character. Let me write it here. We want to take only first character of the name. So after next method, we will use another method to do work for us. Dot char at 0. Oh. You know, it's a char, right? We are only taking a letter from user. So instead of string, I should use char. This is data type. I'm taking the first char. 0 means I'm taking the first char. If you write another number here, according to that number, the letter will change. But I want to take the first number. If you want to take the first number should be 0. This means take the char, take the first char. It will be a char, so I should store it in a char box. Char box sounds similar. Starbucks, char box, okay. I hope you could be able to understand what I have done. I hope I could be able to explain what I have done here. I'm storing only the first char, and the data type box type should be char. We will use char at 0. Zero means first name. Okay, now I have everything. I am ready for the rest. The first name is, I have already saved it like this. The second, I should print the surname and comma space age. So let's write like this. First, I will write the name of user. You know, it will already take on the first char. I do not need to do anything else. But after that, I need to leave a space here. It will print the first letter of the name, but it won't print a space. I have to do it manually. Between double quotes, I will add a space. After writing the first letter of the name, it will write a space. Then surname plus surname of the user. Again, after the surname of the user, I should write a comma and a space. Here, this part. After the surname, it will print a comma and a space. Then the age plus age of the user. This should work. Let's try. Please enter your name. I will write Abdullah, a long name. Surname, son of Thor. Please enter your age, I think 25. As you can see, the first letter of the name, A, surname, son of Thor, comma, space, and age, just like this one. Please ask some questions. I don't want to feel lonely here. I want to hear a human voice. Possible? No? You want me to back, right? So no questions, no fun. Okay. So it's working as you can see. Let's continue. I didn't solve the last one. It is a little hard for our level, but you can try to solve if you want. If you are good with the math, you can try to solve it. You know, in this question 7, we have used an empty bracket to swap the numbers, but here it says without using a third variable, let's swap the numbers. It's really hard for us for this level, so don't worry about it if you cannot solve it. If you could be able to understand this one, it's more than enough. This is tomorrow's topic, but a question. Oh, thank you very much. Let me read in the question. The question is, what about storing the complete name but showing on the first chart? Of course we can. We have to use a different method to that. Instead of this one, I should use a different method. It's very easy. Let's do it that way. So if you want to store the name completely, but if you want to print on the first letter here, that's very easy. Let's do it that way. I think it's also better. Here, I want to use first char. Sorry. And I will make it string. It will completely store the name. But when I'm trying to print it, I will write it here. Dot char 0. So now here I will store the full name as a string, but here I will only print the first letter. Let's try. Kemalettin, a long name. Surname is son of Odin. Age is 37. As you can see, it is working as planned. But the biggest difference is now we have the full name stored in the system, but we are only printing the first letter of the name. Thank you very much for the question. That really made me happy. Okay. Let me continue. If we don't have any other question. So, data casting. Actually, it's not very hard, but sometimes it is a little hard to explain and understand. You know, we have numbers, for example, integers, byte, short, long, float, double. There are a lot of different data types. And there is text. I want to ask you if you have, for example, you know, oh, that color cannot be seen here. We write, I write here, for example. This is a text, right? Because of double quotes, I can understand this is a text. And it should be stored in a string data type. What if the situation was like this? Between double quotes, if there was a number, because of this double quotes, it is still a text, and it should be stored in a string. Just like a novel number, it is still a text if it is between double quotes, and it should be as a string. But I want to store it as a number. You know, if I want to store it as a number, if I want to use it as a number, I should do data casting, and somehow I should turn it to integer. If it is not a number, you cannot use it in a math calculation. You know, this is a text, and you cannot write it like this. 12 plus 1. It won't be 13 because this is not a number. It's a string. Computer cannot calculate it. First, you need to say that, hey, I want to change it to integer. I want to use it in math calculations. First, you need to do casting. And we are going to do it a lot of times during the course. Another thing, I'm sorry. Somehow, you stored a small number, like 31, day of the month, as an integer. You know, integer takes a huge place from the memory. But you know, you can also use the byte for this one, right? It's a small number, and if you use byte for it, it will take small place, at least smaller than huge, small place from the memory. In this kind of situations, you need to cast it. You may cast it to byte to save place from the memory, to have more place for other things. You can do this kind of castings. There are a lot of different ways of using this casting. Data casting means changing. I'm really sorry. Somehow I cannot talk. I'm not ill, but there's something here. A second, please. Thank you very much. I'm better now. Yes, data casting means changing the data type. That's all. If you want to change the data type, you should do data casting, but it is not always possible. You cannot change all the data types. We will see in time. Yes, if the data types are similar, like numbers, it is easy. You can easily change the data type. You can change a byte to an integer very easily. You will learn how to, but it is not always this easy. Sorry. As you can see, if you try to write it like this, you cannot store a text in a number. As you can see, this is integer data type. You should you should store in this number. You should store a number in this box. This is a integer data type. You write number as a name, but you are trying to store a name unit. It is not possible. This is also not possible. This is a string. You should enter a string like between double quotes like this. But you are trying to store a boolean. You know, boolean can store only true, false, and this is a boolean value. You cannot store it. This is also not possible. You have stored a string in a data type, name. From now on, when I say name, computer will say John Doe. So here it is John, but still I'm trying to store a string to a number. Sorry. I'm not sure what's happening. Here we have stored a boolean. Boolean is true and it's false. It means it's not true. And I'm trying to store a boolean to a string value. It's not possible. You cannot, as you can see, we have created a decimal number, double number with a decimal. We cannot store a decimal number to an integer. Integer only accept whole numbers. But this part is a little different, as you can see. We have created an integer. This number is 12. You can store a whole number to a double. It accepts it without any problem. You don't need to do anything else. Directly, you can write it like this. If you want to change an integer to a double, it accepts it without any problem, any complaining. But Java cannot understand these problematic lines. Sometimes it's possible, but here it seems impossible. Yes, now we are going to try to cast primitive and non-primitive data types to each other. But first, we will learn implicit data typing, auto-widening. The other name is auto-widening. I will try to explain it with buckets and water. Let's say they have water inside of them. You know, bytes capacity is very low. It can only store minus 128 to 127. That's the capacity of the byte. Short can store 33,000 numbers. It has a really bigger capacity than byte. When you try to cast byte to short, imagine it like this. You are trying to pour all the water from this bucket to bigger bucket. No matter what happens, this bigger bucket can store it if it is empty, of course. Can store all the water in this byte bucket without any problem because it has higher capacity. So byte has 33,000 and blah blah capacity. Byte has only 128 capacity. When I store 30 in byte without any problem, short will accept it. If I write the highest value, still short will be able to store it because it has a really higher capacity. If I do opposite, it is not possible. Now let's show it with the water. Let's say it is full of water and the byte is empty. When I try to pour all the water to byte bucket, it won't be able to store all of it, right? Because it has a lower capacity. Let's say this is highest capacity is 28. This is 32,000. If I try to store 30,000 to byte, what will happen? Strange things will happen, but still, it won't be able to store that number. It's very high for the byte capacity. Okay, we are going to review this topic. Thank you very much for today. I hope to see you tomorrow. But before that, nothing happened. Okay, thank you very much, and let's continue tomorrow. On Saturday and Sunday, we will start at the same time. Thank you very much. Good night.